Hello and welcome to edupediaworld.com. In this session, we'll be continuing with discussing about economies and diseconomies of scale. Now, economies and diseconomies are related to the scale of production. For a layman, economies refers to advantages which are related to increasing scale of production, and diseconomies refers to disadvantages which are related to increase in the scale of production. Now let me explain you this more clearly through the help of the long run average cost curve. We take quantity on the x-axis and we take the average cost on the y-axis. If you remember, as and on we increase all the inputs related to the production process, the average cost initially decreases, reaches its minimum point, and then it starts increasing if we increase more of inputs to increase the output. So this is the minimum point here. And up till this point, the firm was reaping out the benefits of increase in the scale of production. So up till this point, it was economies of scale. Now after this point, like when average cost has reached its minimum and it starts increasing, after this point, the firm started incurring disadvantages related to increase in the scale of production. So this is diseconomies of scale because the average cost also started increasing. So now we are going to study that what are the various types of economies and diseconomies and why do they occur. Let's start with economies of scale. Now we can divide economies of scale into internal advantages related to increase in the scale of production and external advantages related to increase in the scale of production. Let's first start with the internal advantages. The internal economies are also known as real economies, and they arise from the expansion of the plant size of the firm and are internalized in nature. Now there are various types of internal economies. We start with the first one, that is economies in production. Now economies in production basically occur from two factors. That is technological advantages and division of labor and specialization. Now see, when a firm increases the scale of production, it can go for the most modern technology in the market. For example, if I am into a business of textile, I'm producing cloth, I need some machinery. For example, I need a spinning plant, then weaving plant, printing and pressing, then packaging, etc. So if I am a small firm, I cannot go for adopting all these plants. But if I increase my scale of production, I can afford to get all these plants, which will actually lower down my cost of production. So these are the technological advantages. Similarly, when a firm expands its scale of production, they can go for more and more workers who are having varying skills and qualifications, and we can divide the job provided to a worker according to the skills and qualification which he has. This will actually give the worker also job satisfaction, and it will also lower down the cost of production. So these were the economies related to production. The next one is economies related to marketing. Again, economies related to marketing, we can divide it into we can see that from two point of view, that is from purchase point of view and from sale point of view. Now, purchase point of view relates to the purchase of raw material and other input material which are needed for production. If we purchase raw material in bulk, we get certain discounts from the supplier, so which reduces the cost per unit of the product and hence reduces the total cost of production. So these are the advantages related to increasing scale of production due to the purchase of inputs. Similarly, when I increase my scale of production, I can go for bulk advertising and then large scale distribution of my products through various wholesalers. I can go for my own distribution units, which will lower down the per unit cost of the product and hence will maximize my profits. The other internal factor is managerial economies. See, when I increase the scale of production, I can divide my whole production unit into different departments. For example, production department, HR department, finance department, marketing department, and I'll be employing specialized managers for all these departments. So this will actually induce me to reduce my cost of production and increase my profits. The next one is economies in transport and storage. See, when I increase my scale of production, I can go for full utilization of the transport facility, whether I am hiring or whether I am using my own. And in fact, I can go for developing my own transport facilities and storage facilities, which will at least save my cost up to the profit margin which are charged by the transporters if I hire the facility. The next is economies in transport and storage. See, economies in transport and storage cost arise from the fuller utilization of transport and storage facilities. The large scale firms may acquire their own transport means and they can thereby reduce the unit cost of transportation at least to the extent of profit margin of the transport companies. And plus they can also save on the time. If I have my own transport facility, I can save on the time also, and as well as I'm also saving on the cost. Now we come to the external economies of scale. External economies of scale are also referred to as pecuniary economies, and they arise outside the firm and accrue to the expanding firms. And the factors which give rise to external economies are large scale purchases of raw material, which actually gives us better discounts from the suppliers, then large scale acquisition of external finance. Now bank also sees that I have a strong credit worthiness, so they can go for giving me large finances and as well as at lower interest rates. Then massive advertisement campaigns. I can go for big advertisement campaigns. I can increase the frequency of advertisement, which will increase the sale of my product. Then large scale hiring of means of transport and warehouses. I can go for hiring as well as owning my own transport facilities, and I can go for fuller utilization of the transport and warehouse facilities. Plus, besides all these factors, expansion of any industry actually encourages the growth of ancillary units, that is those units which provides inputs to the main industry. For example, if the automobile industry grows, it will give a boost to the tire industry in order to grow, and they will provide me the inputs at cheaper cost. So this will also lower down my cost of production and will give me an advantage related to increase in the scale of production. Now, as I told you that after a certain point, like after the average cost reaches its minimum point, it starts rising. That if I expand my scale of production beyond a certain limit, my total cost per unit starts rising. So why does this happens? This happens because now diseconomies of scale come into focus. Now again, diseconomies of scale can be divided into two parts, that is internal diseconomies and external diseconomies. We'll be first explaining internal diseconomies. Now, as I told you, diseconomies relates to disadvantages which accrue from the increase in the scale of production. Now, although I have divided the whole unit into various departments, but only one manager is managing one department. So, increase in the department, increase in the workforce will actually reduce the efficiency of the manager to manage a bigger workforce. And if I employ more managers to manage a particular department, there will be various types of distortions in decision taking power of the managers, and there will be delay in the decision making power of the managers. So this actually results in managerial inefficiency. Similarly, labor inefficiency also come into focus. Like if I keep on increasing the number of labor, this will actually lead to a loss of control over labor management, and in fact labor unions will come into action, and this will actually mean loss of output per unit of time and hence rise in the cost of production. So these are the internal diseconomies. The next is external diseconomies. Now, external diseconomies, as I told you, are disadvantages that originate outside the firm, especially in the input market, and due to natural constraints, especially in agricultural and extractive industries. Suppose if I increase on my coal mining firm, this will not induce me to increase the coal production because coal is a natural resource and it is not limited and it is not available in abundance. So, and when I keep on increasing the demand for inputs to produce more, then the suppliers will also, because they also have shortage of inputs, they will increase the price of inputs, which will result in increase in the price of the main product. So this is how the external diseconomies also come into focus after I increase my scale of production beyond a certain limit. These were the In this session we have discussed about the economies and diseconomies of scale. We have understood that how does a firm starts reaping benefits due to increase in the scale of production, and after a certain point they start going into losses due to increase in the cost of production when they increase the scale of production beyond a certain limit. In the next session, we will be again continuing with the theory of cost by discussing about the break-even analysis. Till then, have a nice time and thank you so much for watching Edupedia World.